Civilian casualties in Afghanistan reached record levels in the first half of 2021. After May, when international military forces began to withdraw and the fighting intensified following the Taliban's offensive, UNAMA documented a sharp increase in killings and injuries of Afghans in comparison to the previous 4 months. UNAMA's Protection of Civilians in Armed Conflict Midyear update for 2021 documented over 5,000 civilian casualties, that is, a 47% increase compared with the same period in 2020. Such an increase in harm caused to civilians by the conflict would be worrying at any time, but is particularly so as the fighting approaches more populated areas and cities. UNAMA attributed increasing numbers of civilian casualties to all parties, the Taliban, ISIL-KP, and the Afghan National Security Forces. Over these past 6 months, what we have seen is a conflict where Afghans are killing Afghans, using IEDs through ground engagements, targeted killings and airstrikes. Women and children made up close to half of all civilian casualties. The toll on them was particularly heavy during ground engagements, when many sought shelter in their homes but were killed or injured by mortars and artillery. UNAMA recorded a resurgence of deliberate sectarian-motivated attacks against the Shia Muslim religious minority, and in particular, the Hazara community. Particularly shocking was the 8th of May attack on the school in Kabul, when 3 IEDs killed and injured hundreds of people, including schoolgirls as they left to go home. More than 200,000 Afghans have been displaced this year because of the conflict, either due to the fighting arriving at their doorstep or in anticipation and fear of worsening conditions and treatment due to changes in territorial control. Unlike last year, when the people of Afghanistan dared to hope for peace in their country, now, unless there is a significant de-escalation in violence, Afghans fear more violence, death, injury, destruction, displacement, and a governance system with more human rights violations and abuses. Again, we repeat, all parties must do more to bring an end to the conflict, to respect the human rights and dignity of people, and to hold accountable individuals who've committed violations and abuses.